what I want you to do when you're ready is in your circle, I want you to ride one in counterflexion.
Like 20 meters?
Yeah.
The right side is a little further.
Say again?
The right is a little farther.
It might be. Now if you try counterflexion. Good for you. And just see if you can go one circle in that nice counterflexion there. It's the idea. Yeah, nice release. And then, aha, okay. You got some good rounding and softening with the counterflexion. Good, now just let them stretch for a minute. And tell me the benefits of counterflexion. What might they be?
Engaging the outside hind leg.
Okay.
And bending through the ribcage.
Okay. What else?
Flexing the jaw.
Yes. Which does what?
Softens.
Yes. Very good. And you mentioned that you felt like he might be a little tight through the outside rein.
Oh, yeah.
So it,
Softens on that.
yeah, so it helps that dynamic so that then when you pick up the outside rein, he's more apt to soften through it rather than to fall out over it. So now you're going to continue in this direction in the circle for a moment. Now I want you to try another step or two of that little leg yield you just did. But I want you to think about riding him straight in your circle. So rather than maintaining the bend, just see if in your circle line you can have him go a little more straight, which will mean taking up the outside rein a little bit, and now leg yield him off your inside leg. You feel the difference? What was the difference?
He was straight.
Yes, he was straight, and so
And he was filling the outside rein.
what's that?
He was filling the outside rein more.
Yes, and not doing what?
Pulling out.
Yes. Good job. So now I want you to continue kind of riding him straight, maybe occasionally counterflexing him if he gets a little tight on that outside rein. And as you're doing that, you're going to start to wind the circle in or make the circle smaller and smaller toward the center. If at any point as you start to make the circle smaller, so as the smaller the circle gets, the more acute the bend, right? Because he has to, you want to try and align his body according to the circumference of your circle, and the smaller the circle, the more acute the bend. Does that make sense?
So more bend also through the neck.
Well, yes, as a result. However, then it becomes more dangerous in a way because then there's more opportunity for him to fall out the outside shoulder, right? So somehow you have to try and feel how to allow him to bend more, but without falling over the outside rein. So keeping him aligned or straight, so to speak, in that smaller turn. Good. Now you're going to keep getting smaller and smaller until he starts to swing the hindquarters out around. That's a way. And you're, voila, doing a turn on the forehand, right? Nice, huh? Good, let him stretch. Very nice. So, very different from doing that loose turn on the forehand where you're just using the inside rein. You're kind of letting him fall out the outside shoulder and you're getting him to step across with the hind end. With this, you're really monitoring that outside shoulder or keeping it aligned so that he's not falling out over it. Does that make sense? So here's the thing. I want you to just log in the back of your mind. Every lateral movement from here on has that dynamic going. So whether you're doing a turn on the forehand, or a leg yield, or a shoulder in, or a haunches in, or a half pass, or a pirouette. The trick is to get them balanced so that you've got a bend, but they're not falling over the outside shoulder. Good. Let's change direction, try it on the other side. It's nice, isn't it? Janice worked a long time for that. Good. So first thing, when you're ready, you'll test him the bend a little bit, but then you'll use a counterflexion just in your big circle and see if he'll be able to give you a circle in counterflexion. Yeah. Okay. So you maybe not ask for quite so much, just a tiny bit. Yeah, there you go. That's